Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Welcome back. Welcome back. Network is knocking us out and in today. The network is a very big problem, but we die here. Network, we are with you here. We are not going to move an inch. You must allow us to pass the message. You must allow us to let our people know the right thing. That on this stage, that we as the Biafran has to do for us to achieve our recognition. Yes, Mas Chigozie, I greet you. I can see you. Thanks so much for being here. Please hit the like button as you join. Please like and share the program so others may know that we are live and we are direct on things that we have to do on this stage that we are into, and why what we are doing is very, very imperative. Because for Biafra movement, we have followed it through military. In 1967, 1970, we have gone through war and we could not achieve it. Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu gone used war that Nigeria pushed him into if he can use it to achieve Biafra. In 1967 to 1970. And we all know what happened. That through the military wing or through the war, he could not be able to restore Biafra as a country or as a nation. And today, the world has another different idea, or what proves that there's in everything in life, that one thing that is very important, the most important thing in life is that changes is in every time in this that we are living. So, based on that changes that are allowed in this 21st century, I now concur with Prime Minister Simon Ebanjok, where he said that after Biafra were declared, after declaring Biafra, that with nobody, if you are expecting him to throw one bullet or one arm anymore, that you cannot see that. That simply means that the awareness he created and everything that happened, it's just for awareness. And in the movement of a new country, there is a time of awareness and there is a time of having a new country as the main important thing that you are creating the awareness. No declaration, awareness, a mere political party. Remember the word. No declaration, awareness, a mere political party. The word can tag you anything. Declaration or re-declaration, a nation, sovereignty, a state in waiting. Whether with Israel government or with homeland, it happens. Anywhere it happens. But once there is a peaceful declaration, the world call it what? In these 21st century laws, a country in waiting. I understand perfectly, and I make it to all of us to know that Despite the UN's corrupt, despite their evil, but they are still in charge. When you have a father who the world will see as a wicked father, or who the world will see as an evil father, did you denounce your father because of the world see him as an evil? The answer is no. So for a new country to have official and existing recognition fully, UN is involved. So what we do is that, like your father, you will leave the area he's not doing well. What will happen? You may focus on areas that he wants him to do well for you. You focus on the area that you want your father to do well for you. So today, despite the UN, despite EU, despite AU, all these organizations, despite their corruption, despite their evil plan against us, in the first time after 1967 to 1970 that we are getting Biafra issue correct is this is first time. And that first time was November the 29th, 2024, declaration of United State of Biafra. That was the only time. And in this only time we got it is the only time that the world said, we are no longer in our laws, in our constitution, in our rules, we are no longer using military power. In fact, in this 21st century, the world only believe in peaceful declaration and no military. Because of you have 1 million battalion military, the world says no to you. But zero military and zero territory control, the world sees you as a country or a partner that you can talk with, that you can discuss with. And now the world has removed military and put what? Signature. Who will sign the signature is where the world is right now. A signature. No longer, they use signature to replace military of 20 centuries, that you must conquer a territory, that you must have military, go through war before the world, or before you become a member of the UN, EU, and the AU. This is the belief of 20th century. So today, if you see any Biafra who is pushing military, tell him that he should look for the 21st century law of having a new country. And the law says, only through a peaceful declaration that you can achieve a new country. No longer through military conquest, but through peaceful declaration that a signature will come out that sign the treaty, the agreement of the world for you to become a full member of the UN. These are the truths that we need to know in this 21st century. Like I said, we understand how corrupt UN is. We understand how corrupt EU is. We understand how corrupt AU is, but what matters is that we are telling them what we want, and they must do it because it's their law. In this 21st century, the law will not see us and change, because the war of fighting war see Biafran people change in 1967 to 1970. In this 21st century, what fell in the 20th century cannot fail again, no matter how the saboteurs gather together. So what fails? That time, 20th century, you said it's all about military and war. And when Chukwuemeka Odumegwu managed the Biafran military to lead the war for 3 years, you did not come. That is when I said that the law in the 20th century see us and change. Now, in this 21st century, the law of peaceful declaration cannot see us and change again. That is why we have, now that we have met every criteria, now that we have processed that we are a government in waiting, now that we are capable to govern ourselves, the law must work for us. If it doesn't work, heaven and earth will pass away. Then we will know that it's a pure partiality. Today, we agreed, we abide by the law of that we are new 21st century law. No armed struggle, we abide by that. But what we're not going to take is to take us on granted, like what we did in 1967, 1970. No. The Biafra you are seeing, the Biafran men you are seeing this time around, women are very determined. That is why we, as people of Biafra, must stand on the mandate of peaceful declaration. No peaceful declaration, no nation. No peaceful declaration, no nation. And after the declaration, if you went out there to commit violence, there is no recognition for you. But if you maintain the calm, the template, the pressure, and remain peaceful, then everything will be done in your own way. Like I said, today, we have learned a little bit emphasis on what we're going to do. Remember the headline? And the headline says, UN, EU, AU, 21st century law. A peaceful declaration is only way to achieve a new nation, not military. The only way to achieve Biafra as a country. And if you check very well, since after 1967 to 1970, we are doing the same thing. We are doing the same thing. And what we are doing in our own way is different from what the world are doing in terms of the rules and the controls of the guys' recognition from the UN. We want all of us to understand that this UN law, EU law, and the AU, that the first time that the people of Biafra is adopting it is after our re-declaration, 2024, November the 29th. That is the first time ever in our entire movement that we have come to the standard where the world can talk about us. Let me tell you the truth, whether you like it or not. Any place you see Biafra being discussed today, it is being discussed because of the peaceful declaration, what they call external remedial secession, to bring other countries to come and talk about you. Check. From the time that nobody declares Biafra, all the things you are seeing today, all the turning out, all the talking that is happening today, have you been seeing it then? Have you? The way America, the way Israel, the way the evil UK, London, is trying to discuss about Biafra this time around, what gives them the power, the leverage to do it, the mandate to do it is our official declaration, which what they call what? External remedial secession. On this note of external, that leads to re-declaration of United States of Biafra that give every country in the world chances, powers to talk about USB as a country. This is how it is. We must understand that this time, it's not enough time. Listen to this.
In the 20th century, the world was governed by realpolitik, the idea that if you had the guns and the territory, you were the state. But in the 21st century, the UN, EU, and AU have completely rewritten the rules. They shifted the law from the right of the strongest to the right of the legitimate. Here is the breakdown of why military force is now a dead end for new nations in 2026. 1. The AU's zero tolerance for coups. The African Union, AU, changed the game with the Loan Declaration and the African Charter on Democracy. The law, Any unconstitutional change of government, military takeover, leads to immediate suspension. Why it changed? In the 20th century, coups were common and accepted. In the 21st, the AU realized that military-led states cause economic collapse and regional instability. The result? If you take power by force today, you are a pariah on your own continent. A peaceful declaration is the only way to stay in the club. 2. The EU's conditionality rule. The European Union is the world's largest donor of aid and its biggest trading bloc. They don't recognize countries based on how many tanks they have. They recognize them based on values. The law. To be recognized by the EU, a new nation must prove it follows the Copenhagen criteria: democracy, rule of law, human rights. The conflict, military force, is inherently anti-democratic. If your comrades are in charge, the EU legally cannot recognize you or trade with you. A peaceful declaration signals that you are building a civilian state that the EU can partner with. 3. The UN's membership filter. Article 4. The UN Charter, Article 4, says membership is open to peace-loving states. In the 20th century, this was ignored. If you won the war, you got in. In the 21st century, the UN uses this to block military groups. If a group is actively using force, they are labeled armed spoilers. The Palestine/Kosovo effect, the UN, is now willing to grant observer status or support to movements that are completely peaceful, even if they don't have a full army yet. Peace is now a shortcut to membership. Why the military comrade model failed. The 20th century rebel model fails in 2026 for 3 practical reasons. Feature: 20th century, guns. 21st century, signatures. Money. You looted gold/cash. You need access to SWIFT and digital banking. Technology. You used radios and AK-47s. You need internet, satellites, and GPS. Trade. You traded with neighbors. You need sanction-free access to global markets. The reality. If your comrades use force, the world unplugs your country from the global grid. You might own the land, but you will be living in the dark ages. 4. The responsibility to protect. R2P. This is a 21st century legal doctrine that changed everything. It says that if a group takes power by force and kills its own people, the UN has the legal right to intervene and remove them. Military force triggers R2P, invites international bombing or intervention. Peaceful declaration triggers diplomatic protection, invites international support. Summary. The new power hierarchy. In the 20th century, the general was the most important person. In the 21st century, the diplomat with the peaceful declaration is the one who actually creates the nation. The UN, EU, and AU changed the law because they want predictability. Military comrades are unpredictable. Peaceful governments follow treaties. In a world of global business, the world will always choose the peaceful signature over the military gun. Would you like me to draft a policy paper that your government in exile can use to explain to the military comrades why they must put down their guns to save the country's economy?
I hope you're listening. Peaceful declaration is what the world needs. The world are no longer put force as number one priority. But let us listen to this again as we're going to go into our analysis to understand what we have to do for us to achieve our own country. And you had it here. Some of countries that was denied their right because of armed military forced actions. Is it what you want, USB? Is it how you want Biafra? Do you want Biafra that will be in blockage because of the actions of the armed militaries and their actions? Is it a Biafra you want is Biafra that will be under landlocked through the entire world? Because when the entire world rejects you because of this new law, automatically that is a landlock. But when the world sees that you maintain peaceful declaration, then the world will have no option except to listen to you and believe in you that you're a peace type. A lot of things has happened in the past. Can you ask yourself, how did the other countries with a government in exile achieve their own country and their own recognition or declaration? Or just ask, has any organization used peaceful declaration to become a country? Very simple question. And you will find an answer. The issue of a new country is not what we think. It's not how we see it. The issue of a new country is how the international global community sees it. Not how I read Biafra TV, what I think or what I want will give a new nation. The answer is what? No, is the answer. Now, if the world says, we have changed this our law, we are no longer using this one that are causing our people's life. We are no longer using this one that is killing our people. We are no longer using this one that is violence. That we want the one that is very peaceful. That we need the one that nobody will die on it. And nobody will be arrested. Nobody will be put in prison. Nobody will be sentenced to life imprisonment. Nobody will be sentenced to 6 years imprisonment. And they said, this one will take us 2 years, 3 years, 5 years before we'll be there. And we said no. When we choose the one that will not even in the next 20 years make us to become a country, is it the best one? What we are seeing is, moreover, let me say this. On a personal, private individuals, we cannot achieve Biafra, to be honest, without having saboteurs. We will not achieve Biafra without having enemies. We will not achieve Biafra with even those claim they are Biafrans denying that they are no longer a Biafran. These are truths that we need to look into. In the past, check people like Namibia with government in exile, they have betrayers. Check country like Ethiopia in the past with government in exile, they have betrayers. And what kind of betrayers? The betrayers is this: anybody that the government remove in his position, that person will turn back, become an enemy of the government. It happens in Ethiopia, it happens in Algeria, it happens in Angola, it happened in Guinea-Bissau, it happened in Mozambique, it happened in Namibia, it happens in Zimbabwe, Eritrea, it happens there, etc. It happens there. These are in Africa. We are not talking about Europe and Asia, because America has an rebel betrayers. How? Their betrayers are their people that after their peaceful declaration to remove or to give other countries the external power to talk about them, what happened? America has 56 continental congressmen that signed that America should answer the name USA. Now, the betrayers among them, in a large number of over 548, signed a document sent to the UN that they don't want America to be a country. This happened in America. What of India? They have betrayers. What of Bangladesh? They have. What of Finland? Finland has betrayers. The betrayers of Finland was the red Finland people who was against the peaceful declaration of Finland as a country. Why do you have to know this? I want to know that all that happened in the past is repeating in our own case. And on that junction, I said, we cannot achieve Biafra with your history repeating. It's very imperative that we understand the truth and the facts. I have mentioned names of how many countries? 8 in Africa. What of South Africa? Nelson Mandela fighting against the apartheid regime. He has enemies. He has betrayers. He has rebels among him. After he comes out, he teaches them a lesson that they do not forget in a hurry. The most painful part of it is that in the same thing that happens to them is happening today. Anybody US government to remove, that person will go and form his own group and his men, start attacking that government he was praising. That is Omonketa. Erisie, Echigakwa, Erisie, Bopo, Echigakwa, Zugarashaya back. Today, as we are talking, many of our brothers and sisters, that those even willingly, without the government removing them, they remove themselves, they come back, they start attacking USB. Those that even government to resign, form their own group in Biafra land, parading sub-military, and hiding their real identity. And they're attacking USB, and they forgot that somebody knows them very well. And somebody understands who they are. That somebody has their picture on social media. When they are in this government and they are making money from the government, they will not talk. But when the government find out that these people are making money in the name of this government, that they are not here for freedom, once they be removed in their position, they will pick a fight. They will do what? They will pick a fight. So why am I saying this? I want you to know that betrayers, rebel, the enemies cannot see the good side of what we are doing. But they understand that there is one thing that is constant in life is what? Changing. If you are today, you hated USB, we are declared, and you believe in New Testament, you are deceiving yourself. If you read a New Testament in the Bible and you hated USB, we are declared, you are making a very big mistake. I said what? You are making a mistake because the New Testament you are reading is like the new 21st century law of the UN. So if you can accept the New Testament, you have to accept the new changes from the UN to save life. Many of us believe that New Testament is here for salvation of mankind. The same thing, the new law from the UN, EU, AU in 21st century are also in favor of mankind. For us to be alive. That's what it is. So do not panic. Do not listen to all these men today. Look at someone like Ezamulodi, who has come to serve an interest of one man who lives in America and are attacking USB. And the question is, this thing that you and your boss is doing, how many countries has gotten their independence in the old or in the new through this character you are presenting and this thing that you are doing? How many? Yes, UN is evil. This country is evil, but the evil is what has been there. Many countries because they are independent. That is why I said we know that they are evil. They have denied us. UN, EU, AU has denied us our right in the past. They denied us in 1967 to 1970. Why UN and EU has created about 10 countries in Africa after they denied Biafran's own. That is why today, for us to not wasting time, we decided to adopt the new law of the UN Charter, AU, and all the organizations that are there for the entire world. So now that in this second time, that is why we said we are not close, we are watching, we are looking at them seriously. We want to understand from them. You denied Biafra in 1967 to 1970, claiming it's through genocidal war. You refused to talk about our genocidal war. But the war talk about the Rwanda genocidal war. So, when you look at what transpired, it simply means a short word that UN, AU, EU denied Biafra with the help, no, with their master, British, including England, UK, and London. These are the people that UK and London use because in time of 1967 to 1970, Commonwealth and members of the UN are always being controlled by British and his allies. That is why they be able to deny us Biafra. So you say that time we went through military, but people like Ethiopia, Algeria, Angola, Guinea-Bissau, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Eritrea, they got to their own through military. And all this happens in the line between 1960 and in 1967, the man-made law or the man-made power that you are using are still working. When you believe that somebody who gone into war for 3 years, that other countries need to come and call for a ceasefire to understand what is happening, but you never allow ceasefire on Biafran people. Rather, you want to massacre us. Now, it has gone through war and we lose. And now we come back. We have gone, you give us a criteria, your own law on all the protocols that are there. That's what you want is what? Peaceful declaration. Now, we have stand on existing protocol of the last option, which is remedial external secession that leads to peaceful declaration of a nation, of a sovereignty nation. Now that we have done that, are you going to totally overhaul the what? Deny us again. The word, are you going to deny us again in this 21st century? We are watching closely with our two eyes open. Let us listen to this again before we go into our analysis.
In the 20th century, the world was governed by realpolitik, the idea that if you had the guns and the territory, you were the state. But in the 21st century, the UN, EU, and AU have completely rewritten the rules. They shifted the law from the right of the strongest to the right of the legitimate. Here is the breakdown of why military force is now a dead end for new nations in 2026. 1. The AU's zero tolerance for coups. The African Union, AU, changed the game with the Loan Declaration and the African Charter on Democracy. The law, any unconstitutional change of government, military takeover, leads to immediate suspension. Why it changed? In the 20th century, coups were common and accepted. In the 21st, the AU realized that military-led states cause economic collapse and regional instability. The result: if you take power by force today, you are a pariah on your own continent. A peaceful declaration is the only way to stay in the club. 2. The EU's conditionality rule. The European Union is the world's largest donor of aid and its biggest trading bloc. They don't recognize countries based on how many tanks they have. They recognize them based on values. The law. To be recognized by the EU, a new nation must prove it follows the Copenhagen criteria: democracy, rule of law, human rights. The conflict. Military force is inherently anti-democratic. If your comrades are in charge, the EU legally cannot recognize you or trade with you. A peaceful declaration signals that you are building a civilian state that the EU can partner with. 3. The UN's membership filter. Article 4. The UN Charter, Article 4, says membership is open to peace-loving states. In the 20th century, this was ignored. If you won the war, you got in. In the 21st century, the UN uses this to block military groups. If a group is actively using force, they are labeled armed spoilers. The Palestine/Kosovo effect. The UN is now willing to grant observer status or support to movements that are completely peaceful, even if they have a full army yet. Peace is now a shortcut to membership. Why the military comrade model failed. The 20th century rebel model fails in 2026 for 3 practical reasons. Feature: 20th century, guns. 21st century, signatures. Money. You looted gold/cash. You need access to SWIFT and digital banking. Technology. You used radios and AK-47s. You need internet, satellites, and GPS. Trade. You traded with neighbors. You need sanction-free access to global markets. The reality: if your comrades use force, the world unplugs your country from the global grid. You might own the land, but you will be living in the dark ages. 4. The responsibility to protect. R2P. This is a 21st century legal doctrine that changed everything. It says that if a group takes power by force and kills its own people, the UN has the legal right to intervene and remove them. Military force triggers R2P, invites international bombing or intervention. Peaceful declaration triggers diplomatic protection, invites international support. Summary: the new power hierarchy. In the 20th century, the general was the most important person. In the 21st century, the diplomat with the peaceful declaration is the one who actually creates the nation. The UN, EU, and AU changed the law because they want predictability. Military comrades are unpredictable. Peaceful governments follow treaties. In a world of global business, the world will always choose the peaceful signature over the military gun. Would you like me to draft a policy paper that your government in exile can use to explain to the military comrades why they must put down their guns to save the country's economy?
When you are listening to this law, it gives hope. Even though that their law, 20th centuries, also give hope. But we have tried through military way. We fail. So it's better. Let us try the peaceful way. If we are going to lose it again, we have tried through military way. We lose. Now, in 21st century, let us try peaceful way. Remember, our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa said that all the awareness I am creating without our peaceful declaration is to draw attention, and everything at last, after our peaceful declaration, that everything will end in a round table. True or false? Obatobie said, the Prime Minister said, that after everything that happens, that we will sit on the round table to discuss. I ask you, did you hear such a word from the mouth of Mazi Simon Ekpa-Njoku? Did any of us heard from Mazi Simon Ekpa-Njoku about roundtable discussion? That is where we are going to. What we triggers of facilitating the roundtable is what? Peaceful re-declaration document of United States of what? Biafra. I quote again. What we trigger or facilitated the round table is a peaceful declaration. It's only what will triggers a peaceful round table discussion. Military cannot trigger it, but rather the world will look at that military. The first name was what? Spoilers of a movement of a new country. The law calls such group that those who believe in the military, that the world will distance themselves from them. If the world distance from you, automatically you are on landlocked. This is just simply what it is. The movements that we are into, the only question that you may ask yourself, or I want to ask, is this: have any country in this world, on the name of exile government, with peaceful declaration, achieve an existing country that exists up to today? These are the questions I want us to ask. And these are the questions that we need to call for an answer. Now that the world has moved out from that gun and bullets, and the world said, what we want is a peaceful declaration that leads into diplomatic, that brings a signature, not a gun or a military commander. By the military commander, the world will say no. By a peaceful declaration, the world will say yes. So which one among these did you think that it is the best one among all that is happening? I hold it there. We go to commission to greet my people, because I cannot do without greeting my people in the comment section. So we need to go and greet everyone. Yes, Amaji Shigozie, thank you so much. Ogonaya, thank you so much. Amaji said, Ndewo. Ogonaya said, good day, sir. Biafra. He said on our code, I am a citizen of United States of Biafra. Kevin, senior comrades, I greet you. Good afternoon, my brother. Good afternoon to you too. What of Bishop? Bishop Onaga, the real Bishop Onaga, not that fake one. Good afternoon from here. One name. I am a citizen of United States of Biafra. Me too, I am. Leading by Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, the 29th November 2024 in Lahti, Finland. You are right, my brother. That is who I am also. Now we have official AJ. Greetings. Official AJ said, I am from United States of Biafra. Official AJ said, Free Biafra Prime Minister Simon Ebanjoko. My mommy, Margaret, said, Good day, Maz Shino. Well done, and more grace. Thank you so much. I have Upalam Nelson, Nicholas. Good afternoon, Mazuri Biafra TV. You are really doing a great job. May God bless you and strengthen you the more. Amen. He said, Mama Great said, I am a citizen of United States of Biafra. That is our code. Michelle said, Good afternoon from here, Mazi Shino. Ndewo Nwaife. Your teaching skills are top-notch. Thanks for standing on the path of the truth. Biafrans love you so much. One love, my people. Thank you so much to you all. Thank you guys, man. Those on the comment section so far, so good. So keep it coming. Continue liking and sharing the program, please. You are cheering for us to, our people, to understand there is a changing. If any of these people who are criticizing USB is reading New Testament and you are criticizing the USB, you are not reading Bible at all. The current Bible you have now is USB, and international global community assignment we have to accomplish. So we move. Everybody, thank you so much.
In the 20th century, the world was governed by realpolitik, the idea that if you had the guns and the territory, you were the state. But in the 21st century, the UN, EU, and AU have completely rewritten the rules.
I hope you are following me as we move right now. You had it here in the 20th century. The world was governed by realpolitik. The idea that if you had the gun and the territory, you are the state. But in the exchange in 21st century, the UN, EU, and the AU has completely retweeted their rules. They have do what? Prove and change the history. Now that it is obvious that the world has changed the rules, are we not supposed to change with them? And the areas that the world are shifting to is only thing you have to do is to watch if that area is going to favor us at all. Then, if that area is going to favor us, we as people of Biafra must stand on that existing protocol. We must follow them because they are the power of the world. They decide. Whenever you send your sons and your daughters to school in this 21st century, and they went to school and maintained the existing protocol, or you agree on the rules of that school, time you have to come to school, time you have to close, time for lesson, time for break. These are the existing protocol that has been there before you. So if you are today countering the United Nations new 21st century laws of having a new country, then I want you to stop your child from going to school, implement your own law the way you want it, and teach that child in your house. Teach this child in your house. If you cannot accept and believe that one thing that is constant in life is changing, the world has moved from who has the gun is a state to what? Listen.
They shifted the law from the right of the strongest to the right of the legitimate. Here is the breakdown of why military force is now a dead end for new nations in 2026.
There is what I want you to pick out from here. Underline this word in your mind. But before you underline this word in your mind, your heart, please remove Ngozi Arabeze first. Focus on the law of the UN. Then after you have focused on the law of the UN with your pure heart, remove that you are no longer in the cabinet member. Remove that you're no longer in the government of the USB. Then I only want you to apply that you went to school to register your sons and your daughter. And the school will give you estimate what to buy for that son or that daughter to school in that school. Now, put this in your mind as I want you to have something underlined in your upstairs as we are moving. What is that thing? They shifted the law from the right of the strongest. I am the strongest. I have won. Nobody challenges me. Nobody dares me. I have the gun. I have the ammo tanker. I have the bullet. The world, they shifted their laws from the right of the strongest to the right of the legitimate. Here is the breakdown of why military force is now a dead end for a new nation in 2026. Propagating military, introducing men on ground, bringing butos or giving instruction, bringing them to Yahoo on social media, showing his face, dancing, showing level of ammunition he has in the camp. The world in this 21st century / 2026 currently has moved away, has shifted away from this. Now that they have shifted away, what are you doing? Why are you waiting? They have shifted away from the right of the strongest. They have shifted away. The Donald Trump you are calling, the Netanyahu you are calling, has shifted from the strongest to the right of legitimate, which is the legal aspect of the movement of having a new country. And they said, why military force is now a dead end for any new nation in this 2026. Wendy, I see you. Thank you so much. I see you. Bridget, you are welcome. I see you, Divine Precious, my sister. I greet you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being strong at this time. Thank you. I appreciate you. Now that the world has moved away and they said, showing military in social media, talking men on ground, proving how level of arm you have, they said what? The breakdown. Why military force is now a dead end military as a military is a dead end for a new nation. And we all understand that the world they are evil mindset people with their central tribalism and the lineage of law favoring some people and with not favoring some other people. These are the areas I want you to look into. These rules was not being meant here or put here because of Ngozi Orabeze's peaceful declaration. And this law of 21st century has been there from 2001. And you remember, obviously, that our declaration took place 2024, November 29, in Helsinki, Lahti, Finland. Now, I want you to ask Obatobie, Simon Ebanjoko, why did you say that after this declaration, that if anybody is expecting you to throw one short bullet, that person is deceiving himself? Can someone think, or if Obatobie says such a word? And now, you can find an answer why Obatobie you love, the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa you claim that you love so much, said, I am not going to throw one bullet to Nigeria after declaration. It's because of the 21st century law. I want to ask any of us, including I myself, if not for Obatobie, have you ever heard about Montevideo Convention? Have you ever heard about Geneva Convention? Have you heard about Vienna Convention? We might have heard about UN Charter, which I have heard that one from day one. On this Geneva Convention, that was all new protocol observed, is where UN, EU, and AU laid their hand to implement the new rules that guides all of us. Remember this word. Undermine this word in your heart and in your brain. What are those words? They shifted their law from the right of the strongest to the right of legitimates. Here is the breakdown of why military force is now dead. Is now a dead end for a new nation in 2026. Have this particular place in your mind. Shoyi military. Now, if Shoyi military is a dead end for a new nation, what do we have to show? Let's go.
1. The AU's zero tolerance for coups. The African Union, AU, changed the game with the Loan Declaration and the African Charter on Democracy. The law, any unconstitutional change of government, military takeover, leads to immediate suspension. Why a change?
Listen, the AU, zero tolerance. That is, AU means Africa Union. Now we are putting from Africa for any coup at all. The African Union, AU, changed the game with the Lome Peaceful Declaration and the Africa Charter on Democracy. They said that military force is now a dead end for a new nation. And what do they take? Or which one do they embrace? Or which one do they give us? They give us what? A peaceful declaration is the only easy way to have a new country that will get international recognition from the office of the UN, AU, and EU. The most sweetest thing is that if this law was implemented this year, the enemies, those that never won Biafra, they will say, Ngozi Arabeze have bribed the world to change the law. They will say what? They will come here and argue, Ngozi Arabeze bribed the world to change this law. But the sweetest part of it is that this law was changed from 2001, when Ngozi Arabeze has not even been fully come for Biafra. True or false? Many of us in 2021, nobody is talking about Biafra. It might be true, but it might, yes. Now, the law is already there. And this law we're talking about is like going to somewhere through express. People, are they not having accidents, die in express? Because of people die in express, are you going to leave express and be walking inside bush for you to travel to Lagos from old Eastern region, Biafra land? Because of that, there will be a airplane crash in the past that have killed people. In a country where you are in UK, it was against declaration. Did you fly with your wings or with your hand and your leg and be there? Did you not still enter the same flight that people has entered and they have airplane crash and they lost their life? The same express that people dies on, that are evil road, is the same express that you, who never won Biafra as a country, is passing. And you see UN as evil, yes. But the time will come when you will use an evil man to get something right for yourself, whether you like it or not. So that evil UN, they must change the law in due time. Now they have changed the law. They must obey it in our own case, because our case is very outstanding. But let's continue. The African Charter choose what? Peaceful declaration. The African Charter on democracy.
In the 20th century,
the law, any unconstitutional change of a government, military takeover, leads to immediate suspension. You will hear countries that have made the declaration before us, but because of the actions of their military, they sanction them, they suspend them, that today they are never become a fully sovereign nation on the way of sitting on or being a member of the UN at all. Let's continue. Why it changed in the 20th century? Coups were common and was accepted. In the 21st centuries, coup, military takeover, was accepted and allowed to rule. But in the 21st century, the AU realized that military leads a state causing economic collapse and the regional instability. You see how this is? We see their own thinking. That is why I'm here to tell you that what you think, those things you send on your WhatsApp group, Those things you use in the WhatsApp group is not what UN, it's not what AU, it's not what is going to give us Biafra as a country, even though that we have declared it, whether I like it or not. What will make it quicker, easy for us is what? Peaceful declaration, the one that AU, the African Union, has chosen. And that is the one that I am believing on, because we have narcoed for so long. You never yield any results. You remain where we are. This declaration was just a year and you can see how things are turning around, how things are going. What else do you need when those that are giving you, those that will support you, those that will not sanction you, those that will welcome you, give you the guideline how to welcome you? If you really want to be there, what you have to do is not to embrace the guideline they give to you and work towards it, and you're going to be there. Think about yourself.
Were common and accepted. In the 21st, the AU realized that military-led states cause economic collapse and regional instability. The result: if you take power by force today, you are a pariah on your own continent. A peaceful declaration is the only way to stay in the club.
I hope you are listening to that. The result: if you take power by force today, you are a pariah on your own continent. A peaceful declaration is the only way to stay as a nation. A peaceful declaration is the only way to stay as what? A nation in this 21st century. If you believe that in your life, that sometimes you need to change a new clothes and leave the old one, that is what the world has done so far, so good. If you believe that you can change your old uniform and have new one, and you are not accepting the UN law or this protocol that needs to be observed in this 21st century, you are on your own. And you continue wearing your old clothes and be facing embarrassment on the road by yourself, because you caused it by yourself. We are going to hear names of countries today. They are fully country on their own, no matter. But what happens? They deny them. Talk less of now, in this 21st century, this 2026, that the law is very, very proactive. The law is pro-mass, is pro-mass active in this 21st century. Moreover, in this 2026.
2. The EU's conditionality rule. The European Union is the world's largest donor of aid and its biggest trading bloc. They don't recognize countries based on how many tanks they have. They recognize them based on values.
I hope you are following. Now the EU, the conditional rule. The European Union is the world's largest donor of aid and its biggest trending in the world. They do not recognize country based on how many tankers, guns, bullets, and military they have. They recognize them based on their value. Based on what? On value. Based on what? Value. Not on the military, large, biggest gun, armor tanker you have. It's no longer there. That is why we must, because when it's come to what it takes as of this stage for us to achieve this big, large armor tanker, we don't have it. Is this all this betrayal of it are betraying the government? When they give it to go and get the equipment, like Chukwuemeka's senior brother, he shuffled the money, and he could not come back to present anything, and the war get to worst. Only removing you from the government, which remove yourself by yourself, you turn saboteur. Talk about when they counted $20,000 give to you to go and get equipment, you will not come back. ụmụ ajọ mmụọ, ụmụ ajani, ụmụ ekwensu. And you are here. And when we have a law that we might not go to that way, the law that make it easy for us, and you are fighting against it. Anyone fighting against our peaceful declaration, you are a full-time betrayer. You are a spoiler. Remember, underline this in your mind. Military force is now in 2026. It is now a dead end for any new nation. It's a dead end. Nobody, we call you a country. Nobody will recognize you. You are going to store on your own, die by yourself, no business transaction, no trending, no exchange of rates, nothing at all. That is where the world is making it clearly for us to understand that at this stage that we are into, there is easy way. And they said it's that word. A peaceful declaration is an easy, soft way to have a new nation in this 21st century. Remember, we are number 2. Where the world counts only value, not level of armor tanker, level of gun you have. The law to be recognized by the EU, a new nation, a new peaceful declared nation must prove it follows the comprehensive criteria, democracy rule of a law by human rights. I hope you're listening. There is another word you have to have in mind here. What is that? In the democracy era, a new law must come out. A new law, a new country must come out. A new law must come for a new country. And that is 21st century law. The 21st century era started from 2001 and is going to end in 2100. That is one era. That is the 21st century what? Era. 21st century. See how they are counting it. So this law, let us see, now that we have made our peaceful declaration and drop military wing and armed struggle, if we are going to wait from to 2100 before we can be able to achieve our international recognition. And let us see how they will keep silent this time around. Now you have a government in exile that can match every office and ask you and question you and authorize you to do the needful.
Law. To be recognized by the EU, a new nation must prove it follows the Copenhagen criteria: democracy, rule of law, human rights. The conflict, military force, is inherently anti-democratic. If your comrades are in charge, the EU legally cannot recognize you or trade with you. A peaceful declaration signals that you are building a civilian state that the EU can partner with.
I hope you are listening. When I said I will not change from this word, what I think, what I know, can never bring Biafra as a country. And on that note of what I think, what I know is why Biafra has never come. I hope you are listening. On this number 2, the conflict. Military force is inherently anti-democracy. if your commanders are in charge, like is coming from the office of General Triple General Butozo. When the world are hearing it, what is coming to their mind? The EU legally cannot recognize you or trend with you. You that inside bush and giving order to those are outside, those are in the side houses, those are in the foreign countries, those that are moving with government of the country where they reside, those that are moving and you are inside bush, that is coming to give order. The word said in 21st century to 2006 that we are into, the EU legally cannot recognize you or trade with you. Donald Trump never destroyed UN. Finally, Donald Trump never destroyed EU. Donald Trump did not destroy AU. Sometimes he always believes in those laws. You that are inside Bush are calling Donald Trump, calling Netanyahu. They said they cannot trend with a commander or a military claiming to be in charge after a peaceful declaration. A peaceful declaration is only way that you are building a civil citizens that the EU can partner with. Through a peaceful declaration, the world can partner with the United States of Biafra, whether I like it or not. Arms are not given recognition. Arms is not the reason why Donald Trump will come. Then who will come? But rather, he will come because of there is a peaceful declaration.
3. The UN's membership filter, Article 4. The UN Charter, Article 4, says membership is open to peace-loving states. In the 20th...
The UN membership Article 4. Article what? 4. Says membership is open to peace-loving states, not armed struggle state, not armed military state, peace-loving state of a peaceful declaration is the only way to achieve. In the 20th century, this law was ignored. If you won the war, you got a recognition as a nation, you become a state. What of 21st century?
21st century. The UN uses this to block military groups. If a group is actively using force, they are labeled armed spoilers.
It's open. They are not hiding it at all from anybody. Anthony, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Ben, thanks so much. James, thank you so much. In 21st century, the UN use this to block military group. If group is actually using force, they are labeled armed spoilers. After a peaceful declaration, if any group or any military group claim they are in charge, the world label you what? You are a spoiler. The world will call you what? Armed spoiler. You are spoiling the new country movement. The world will call it what? Armed staff, commander, no face, Ibe Butozo. The world will call you armed spoiler. They said you are spoiling your people's movement, that you must exit from that. Look at the name was being tagged to you. Now, let us see where this law and where they have implemented it in this 21st century.
Palestine/Kosovo effect. The UN is now willing to grant observer status or support to movements that are completely peaceful, even if they don't have a full army yet. Peace is now a shortcut to membership.
I hope you are listening. I hope that you are listening. The Palestina, Kosovo, in fact, the UN is now willing to grant observer status or support to movements that are completely peaceful declaration. Kosovo, Palestina, for over 10 years to 20 years of their declaration of their armed struggle movement, has never achieved official international recognition despite having their currency, their passport. But because of what they did in the past, is what they used to judge them. In this 21st century, you can hear it here. If they do not have a full arm yet, peace is now shortcut to a membership of the UN list recognition. Peaceful declaration. Peaceful declaration. Peaceful declaration is only way. Only one. You had an equality. They said what? A peaceful declaration is only easy, soft way to achieve a new nation. That is what the world has given to us. And now that November the 29th of November 2024, Biafra was declared in Lati, Finland, and that stands forever. That is the peaceful declaration we're talking about that gives recognition, nothing else, not gun and bullet.
Why the military comrade model failed. The 20th
Why the military commanders model failed.
century rebel model fails in 2026 for three.
It's very hot in my mind. The 20th century rebels mode fell in 2026 for their practice reasons. Are you hearing it? The world has seen anybody from this 21st century that if you are still carrying arms, they said words that they are what? 20th century rebels model fell. The rebel model of military, knocking woto. Not doing anything. The world is no longer there. They are shifted from that. And you, because of your black brain, you are ignorant, could not allow you to reason. You refuse to move with the world. And you are in a civilized country. That civilized country that your needs has agreed on this law. That is why you are there. You have peace of mind. You can sleep. You have stable internet. You have 24-hour light. You have water. You have good road. You have good hospital. Because they agree on this peaceful movement of 21st century laws. They abide by that law. And you refuse.
Practical reasons. Feature. 20th century guns. 21st century signatures.
There is something you must understand. For the future and the past, the 20th century gone. 21st century, signature of that peaceful declaration. The signature of peaceful declaration is number one criteria for you to achieve international recognition. Money. You looted gold, cash. In 21st century, whatever you acquired there, they said you looted it. Now, you need access to SWIFT and the digital banking. You see, in the 20th century, you can't do that. Now, let's continue. Telecom, you use radio and AK-47. Oh yeah, 21st century, you need internet, sellers, and GPS. Are you hearing it? Trending, you trending with neighbor. You need a sanction, free access to global markets.
Money. You looted gold/cash. You need access to SWIFT and digital banking. Technology. You used radios and AK-47s. You need internet, satellites, and GPS. Trade. You traded with neighbors. You need sanction-free access to global markets. The reality. If your comrades use force, the world unplugs your country from the global grid. You might own the land, but you...
Take from here first. The reality. Let us talk reality in this movement. Let us present reality in this movement. The reality is very bitter to the saboteurs and enemies. If your commanders use force, the world will unplug you as a nation. Your country from the global guide. You might own the land, but you will be living in the darkest ages. If you use military. Show him it on social. Hey, Nakwoto, she's not doing anything. What is Ngozi? Show us your military. Ngozi, what are you doing? Ngozi is doing on the signature and document. And that is what the world wants from her as the person that make that peaceful declaration. The signature is what the world needs in this first century. No longer gun and bullet and military wings. The responsibility to protect. This is the 21st century legal doctrine that changes everything. This 21st century law changes everything. Does not allow anyone impartial. This work, let's manage it. No. It changes what? Everything about becoming a new country. It says that if a group will take power by force and kill its own people, the UN has the legal right to intervene and remove them. The UN has rights. And you are inside bush. You are there giving order, calling Donald Trump, Netanyahu. And you cannot ask of, why are they not coming? When you are a member of ESN, you are calling Netanyahu. Now that Sabato will change you, give you level to liberation military, you are calling Netanyahu. And you never ask yourself, why are they not coming? Why are they not coming? You should answer. Why can't you change? The world has moved out. What are you still waiting for?
We'll be living in the dark ages. 4. The responsibility to protect, R2P. This is a 21st century legal doctrine that changed everything. It says that if a group takes power by force and kills its own people, the UN has the legal right to intervene and remove them. Military force triggers R2P, invites international bombing or intervention. Peaceful declaration triggers diplomatic protection, invites international support.
Are you hearing it? Military force, like you are calling Donald Trump, can never in this 21st century support you. But who are they going to support? Come close. Listen again in a common English or in my bad English. Come and listen. Come. It says, peaceful declaration triggers diplomatic protection, inviting international support. The world will support Ngozi Orabueze for a peaceful declaration of United States of Biafra in this law of 21st century. The law of the UN, the law of the EU, the law of the AU on the human rights. We protect her and they recognize her. The world said we no longer calculate on issue of guns and bullets, rather on a signature after a peaceful declaration. That is where we are. 21st century. It says that 21st century law changes everything. In summary.
The new power hierarchy. In the 20th century, the general was the most important.
Remark this word. In summary, the new power higher hierarchy. The message is coming from the office of Triple General Butozo that is fighting Monkey and the Mbada and the Osoni Mafia. Shame on all of you. You are doing one thing from the time immemorial to today. You cannot make a change. If you are a Christian and you go to church, you open New Testament and you refuse to abide by the new law, reading Old Testament, you are committing a crime. You are committing a crime.
One person. In the 21st century, the diplomat with the peaceful declaration is the one who actually creates the nation.
I hope you are listening. That is Ben. So let me put a word from our brother as it does. Remove your hatred. Remove that business that you want to use Biafra to do. Remove that mindset that all you wanted is to use Biafra to acquire wealth. Remove that mindset that all you wanted is to use Biafra so Nigeria can know you and pay you. Remove it in your mind. You have to do that. On this session 1, today, remove your mind on how much you want to use the name of Biafra to make. It is all over. The narrative has changed. Do you know what our post proverb? The word has changed it, whether I like it or not. And I also said in my own that when Biafra comes, we must change some things in our narrative. Some of our proverbs must be changed because it's a setback to us. You want to continue remaining in position. Look at today. My own brother. My pray Biafra is my home TV today. Because of his messed up. And they remove him in position. They remove his master. He has formed a group on his WhatsApp, his level that he used to bring Biafra for us, to bring US, to bring Donald Trump, is on the WhatsApp forum. My warning to you, I've been watching you closely. Biafra is my region. Biafra is my home.
UN, EU, and AU.
Sorry. In the 20th century, the general was the most important person. In the 20th century, in the old centuries, Butozo is the general, was the most important person in 20th century. But in 21st centuries, the diplomatic with the peaceful declaration is the one who actually creates the nation. In the 20th century, Butozo, you are number one, you are general. You are the most important person. They put it in that form for you. But look at this 21st century. Gentle Butozo, can I budget pump patch on each way, bidoni huonwa. On American changes, being AK-47. Butozo, on American changes, being AK-47. Can I budget pump patch on? Can I budget a boy also? Butozo. Can I budget now? It's a good way. Maybe it's the organizer where pota. How many millions people naka? Family and all the changes of the Obato be a new dimension what Araganime. Ibri na agba egwu why na ndo was na achọkwa ịfọdụ Kenya ha n'ebe ị nọ ịma akwani and ịchọ ka kụziere I am not abusing you, but I am talking on you because of your actions and characters, what the words are looking for right this time around. O jiri aka sepụ onwe ọnụ n'ara si na nne ya nye ekwe ya ara. Onye arụrụ ala lie onwe ya, ofu aka ya dị n'elu. But that is the truth. That is the pure truth. In the 20th century, Butos or gentle and make up Owam. In the 20th century, the generals was the most important person. In the 21st century, the diplomatic with a peaceful declaration by the Congress of Abeze is the only way actually to create a new nation.
Change the law because they want predictability. Military comrades are unpredictable. Peaceful governments follow treaties. In a world of global business, the world will always choose the peaceful signature over the military gun.
The UN, EU, and the AU changes the law because they want predictable nation. Military commanders are unpredictable. Peaceful government follows treaties, sign agreements. In the world of the global business, the world will always choose the peace signature over the military gun. In 21st century, the world will choose a peaceful declaration country by than military commanders and guns and bullets. That they said they are not stable people. You can see today, Ogenkere, tomorrow BGC, next year Nigeria government, they have poisoned us. I will play it without saying a word. I want to be very short. Then we allow a phone calls of our people to call to say their mind after I play this particular session without interrupting it. So for them to hear. Look at it here. Oh God, give me money for my laptop. Let me complete paying and bring it. So everybody will be reading it on the screen. Look at it here. Look at what I'm doing. What is in this phone could bust somebody's head. Let us listen. Do you remember before I play it that Palestine and Kosovo, why they are on their own? Because of the action of the military. Is what you want from us? The war happened, no trending, no business, no transaction, no exchange. Because of military action. That is why Kosovo still remains today. That is why Palestine still remains today. That is why Somaliland are suffering today. The actions of the military. The world says, hell no, we don't want military actions again. We want a peaceful declaration that will give you the easy way. They call it soft way for you to achieve a new nation. Please like and share. If you never do that, please.
Would you like me to draft a policy paper that your government in exile can use to explain to the military comrades why they must put down their guns to save the country's economy?
Tomorrow we are going to do that. We are going to use this UN law also give their quota, their section, why military commanders have to drop their guns and join a peaceful declaration. That's why I said, that is why, remember what Mazen Nandekano said, that if the world want to deceive you, they will put the truth in a document, hide it from you in a written note, because Africans are not good in that. I am a witness to that. And they will give you lies. They will allow you to be thinking that you're getting it wrong. Why in their own case, you're getting it right. They're getting it wrong. Now, there's one thing I want us to know. Do you know where we are now? Anybody na-ekwu n'okwu Igbo sị na mkpegbu ka ntigbu. Mkpegbu na law court karịa na m tigburu gị. USB mkpegbu, gentle ntigbu. Kebọn nke win ọkwa mkpegbu win no ntigbu. Ọkwa mkpegbu win ntigbu n'okwu Igbo.
In the 20th century, the world was governed by realpolitik, the idea that if you had the guns and the territory, you were the state. But in the 21st century, the UN, EU, and AU have completely rewritten the rules. They shifted the law from the right of the strongest to the right of the legitimate. Here is the breakdown of why military force is now a dead end for new nations in 2026. 1. The AU's zero tolerance for coups. The African Union, AU, changed the game with the Loan Declaration and the African Charter on Democracy. The law, any unconstitutional change of government, military takeover, leads to immediate suspension. Why it changed? In the 20th century, coups were common and accepted. In the 21st, the AU realized that military-led states cause economic collapse and regional instability. The result: if you take power by force today, you are a pariah on your own continent. A peaceful declaration is the only way to stay in the club. 2. The EU's conditionality rule. The European Union is the world's largest donor of aid and its biggest trading bloc. They don't recognize countries based on how many tanks they have. They recognize them based on values. The law. To be recognized by the EU, a new nation must prove it follows the Copenhagen criteria: democracy, rule of law, human rights. The conflict, military force, is inherently anti-democratic. If your comrades are in charge, the EU legally cannot recognize you or trade with you. A peaceful declaration signals that you are building a civilian state that the EU can partner with. 3. The UN's membership filter, Article 4. The UN Charter, Article 4, says membership is open to peace-loving states. In the 20th century, this was ignored. If you won the war, you got in. In the 21st century, the UN uses this to block military groups. If a group is actively using force, they are labeled armed spoilers. The Palestine/Kosovo effect. The UN is now willing to grant observer status or support to movements that are completely peaceful, even if they don't have a full army yet. Peace is now a shortcut to membership. Why the military comrade model failed. The 20th century rebel model fails in 2026 for 3 practical reasons. Feature: 20th century, guns. 21st century, signatures. Money. You looted gold/cash. You need access to SWIFT and digital banking. Technology. You used radios and AK-47s. You need internet, satellites, and GPS. Trade. You traded with neighbors. You need sanction-free access to global markets. The reality: if your comrades use force, the world unplugs your country from the global grid. You might own the land, but you will be living in the dark ages. 4. The responsibility to protect, R2P. This is a 21st century legal doctrine that changed everything. It says that if a group takes power by force and kills its own people, the UN has the legal right to intervene and remove them. Military force triggers R2P, invites international bombing or intervention. Peaceful declaration triggers diplomatic protection, invites international support. Summary: the new power hierarchy. In the 20th century, the general was the most important person. In the 21st century, the diplomat with the peaceful declaration is the one who actually creates the nation. The UN, EU, and AU changed the law because they want predictability. Military comrades are unpredictable. Peaceful governments follow treaties. In a world of global business, the world will always choose the peaceful signature over the military gun. Would you like me to draft a policy paper that your government in exile can use to explain to the military comrades why they must put down their guns to save the country's economy?
I hope you're listening to it carefully and you can see why USB focus on diplomatic, focus on legal aspect of what we are doing because of these 21st century new laws. It's no longer when military is number one. You had it here clearly. So please, our line is open. If any Biafran decide to call, because we have 30 minutes to go more. If you want to call, you have to call on number +973360513337. That is the number to call. If Biafrans have chance to call, that is the number to call. The number is +9733360513337. If you want to call us to add your voice on what we are doing, you are free to call. You are free to call. The world has moved on? And are we the one that want to remain in the darkest ages? You had it here, the actions of the military will leave you in the darkest ages. Our hero, Chukwuemeka Nnamdi, Chukwuemeka Odimegwu, used military, he fails. Since then, we started with peaceful agitation until the Nigerian government starts with their actions. And because of the world does not have power, or UN does not have power to come in, they remain silent, not to interfere into the internal matter of Nigeria. That's how they see it. Now we have met our peaceful declaration, which what leads to peaceful declaration is what they call remedial secession, external remedial secession. That is what moves the world. And that is only on that note that the world can come when you had it here. That hello, Divine Precious. Hello, Wanda.
Hello,
Yeah, good afternoon. Am I coming out? Loud and clear, yes. Have the mic. You're welcome.
Okay. Good afternoon, dear friends. God bless you, because anytime that I come to your channel, honestly, I must learn one thing. That is one thing with your unique way of teaching, and especially this particular one that is not common. It's not like all these things that we are getting anyhow from internet and we'll be addressing this. This one is not you. It is just you alone that I know that is teaching this particular aspect. So it's not common, and I wish to thank you for that, because our people are, with the kind of ignorance we are in here, is to the highest level. I'm telling you, most of the time, since you are saying, it will be my first time of knowing that kind of thing. Many a time, since that many times that you'll be saying things, it will just be my first. Am I coming out?
Loud and clear. Loud and clear. You are coming loud and clear.
Okay. So my brother, keep it up. Oh. This is a very, 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 very good aspect of this teaching, of this freedom, because these people that are in homeland, they don't know anything, and they don't even know that they are complicating themselves.
Yeah.
Even those that seems as if they know they are educated, they'll be calling you professor. And what you are doing is out of the law. It's against the law. And you'll be proud coming out to do some things that when the international bodies will be watching, they will know the reason that the man, our leader, called that nation is due. How are you be telling me something that your law is against? You'll be acting it before the world. That's why our leader asked Omo to show me the law. Up to today, they cannot say anything. Yes. And in many areas, this is happening as well. And I just thank you for bringing this to our notice, that there is a lot of things that is going on that is illegal. Even though that people are coming out to declare, showing their face, doing it as if it is right, or unknowingly, in ignorance. But thank God today there is this way of bringing it out to the knowledge of those that want to know. I tell people that doesn't get it will get it more. As it stands now, as we are approaching to the end of it, that those are where my mind is more is that those ones that are innocent, those ones that are genuine. But because of ignorance, because of misinformation, because of what they don't know, they thought that they are doing the right thing while they are doing the wrong thing. But for those that knows, those ones that they bought with money and all these things, I'm not pitying them. I'm only praying that God will help those who are ignorant by misinformation and the other thing that does. For those ones that knows that the gods of our land will rise up against them, because or enough is enough for the wicked. It will have my just more comedy or say so because people are going every day. Every day, na akọba dị, na aka aja nke ọbụla akụkọ. Mana ama m na when all this thing will settle, ndị ọjọọ agbanwe ezumanku to talk or let alone acting it out. So my brother, keep this work ongoing. Even though na mama.
This call. Hey, yeah, sorry, I muted myself. Oh my God. Sorry, my people. Yes, we still allow the phone calls to come in. Choose 042. Divine Precious, thank you so much for your wonderful submission. I love it and I appreciate it so much. You're on point. I see you, Christy Biafra. Thank you so much. What we are doing is to see. Do you know that this is the same white man who told us that ignorance is not an excuse in the eyes of the law? Yes, Divine Network kick you out. In case if you have something to say, you are free to call because the time I have now is time for phone call. Because I want to play the document again for the Biafrans to hear it. So that is the truth. Because the time that we are into, these white people said that ignorance is not an excuse in the eyes of the law. And why I am bringing this out, that you will not die because of the ignorance. You will not die because of the ignorance. That is why I'm bringing this. Mami Ngozika, you're welcome. Agonna, I see you. Thank you so much. I think the voice is coming out right now, right? The voice, is it coming out loud and clear? I hope my voice is coming out. Let's look at this particular section we discussed today again. Okay. Listen to this. This message is for every military. That's even like people like Ezamulobi. People like Ezamulobi who decided to, after moving from his office, decided to start messing up in his platform. With this thing that you are doing, where has it happened? Who has it helped to have a new country? Because of you are no longer making money in the name of training Biafra liberation, Biafra military. You turn against the movement. Let us see how we end.
In the 20th century, the world was governed by realpolitik, the idea that if you had the guns and the territory, you were the state. But in the 21st century, the UN, EU, and AU have completely rewritten the rules. They shifted the law.
Remember this word. Remember this word. In the actions of the gentle, Butozo, and all of them, Chiamaka Jere, I don't know who, Ogenke, championing men on ground, that happens in the 20th century. You are right on that. Anybody who champions military in the 20th century, you are right to champion military. Because that is what the world believes on. Now, when the world has said, we are no longer in the 20th century, that we are in the 21st century. And what happened? They said, you are the state if you have gun and bullets in the 20th century. You are in charge. Then, in the 21st century, the UN, EU, and the AU has completely ruled out military, guns and bullets, as you are in charge, or because of you, they will grant you recognition. You become a member of the UN. In the 21st century, you cannot. But in the 20th century, you may. Now, listen.
From the right of the strongest to the right of the legitimate. Here is the breakdown of why military force is now a dead end for new nations in 2026.
Listen, you. They shifted the law from the right of the strongest to the right of the legitimacy, which is legal, diplomatic. Here is the breakdown of why military force is now a dead end for a new nation in this 2026. Gentle and Butuzo, and those like people like the all of you that championing military in this 21st century, it is no longer military. It's all about what? Listen to what it is all about.
1. The AU's zero tolerance for coups. The African Union, AU, changed the game with the Loan Declaration and the African Charter on Democracy. The law.
Listen, number one, they shifted it to what? To declaration. They shifted it, they moved away from military commanders and being in charge, and because of that, you get recognition. They have moved away from that. They move into what? Into declaration. Is what they move into first. Now, how can this declaration brings a new nation? Why did they say that military force is now a dead end for a new nation in this 2026? That is a dead nation. On that, they said the AU zeros tolerance of coup. The African Union AU changes the game with the Loan Declaration and the Africa Charter on Democracy. Declaration is a democracy. You see how they merge these two together? Let us continue. The law, any unconstitutional change of immediate surprise, they do not any unconstitutional change of a government, military takeover, leads to immediate suspension in this 21st century. Now that we are fighting for a new nation, and they are claiming that after our declaration, after our battle, that now the president is in charge is Butozo. Could you imagine? Somebody am I draft here? So that is the areas we need to look into. These are the areas that are very, very important on this stage that we are into. This is what we give recognition. This is what gives what recognition. Now, when you look at it this way around, on this movement of a new nation, or that will give you what you want as a nation. Now, listen. Why the change? In the 20th century, coups were common and accepted. In the 20th century, after our declaration, if Gentle and Butozo claiming that they are power and starts making noise, starts shooting here and there, the world will accept them and say, because of them, okay, what do you want, Biafra? Or you take your Biafra as a nation. But what happened? In the 21st century, the AU realized that military leaders Military lead states causes economic collapse and the region instability. So in this 21st century, military is no longer the rule to become a sovereign nation, but a peaceful declaration is a rule of a sovereign nation. So because of the power has moved from you, is it why you continue doing what you are doing? Is it why you continuously trying to make Biafra to become a failed state? We refuse. Because you know why we refuse? That is why we are here. And also the world knows that after a peaceful declaration, that the rebels will emerge everywhere. That the oppressors will use some people to destroy the peaceful declaration. The world knows it clearly. That is why we don't have to panic in the movement that we are into, because everything has changed. If a 56 men can make America to become a country today, what of we have over 500? Only 56 continental congressmen signed that America should be a country. 547 to 48 refused, that they never want America as a country. It happens in the past. Today is happening in front of you and I. And you are still thinking that something good will come out from pure lie.
Any unconstitutional change of government, military takeover, leads to immediate suspension. Why it changed? In the 20th century, coups were common and accepted. In the 21st, the AU realized that military-led states cause economic collapse and regional instability. The result: if you take power by force today, you are a pariah on your own continent. A peaceful declaration is the only way to stay in the club.
A peaceful declaration is only way to stay as a nation. A peaceful declaration is only way to stay as what? As a new nation. Only peaceful declaration gives you a nation.
2. The EU's conditionality rule. The European Union is the world's largest donor of aid and its biggest trading bloc. They don't recognize countries based on how many tanks they have. They recognize them based on values. The law. To be recognized by the EU, a new nation must prove it follows the Copenhagen criteria: democracy, rule of law, human rights. The conflict, military force, is inherently anti-democratic. If your comrades are in charge, the EU legally cannot recognize you or trade with you. A peaceful declaration signals that you are building a civilian state that the EU can partner with. 3.
I hope you are listening. The conflict, the military force is inherently anti-democracy. If your commanders are in charge, if generals are in charge, the EU legally cannot recognize you or trade with you. That is why Netanyahu is not answering you. That is why Netanyahu is not answering you, because you are not in the right position to do that. That is a pure truth. But when you package those messages and give it to the appropriate authority and they will deliver it, it will bring a result. These are truths. Now, a peaceful declaration is a symbol that is a sign that you are building a civilian state that the UN can partner with. UN cannot partner with you in the gun in the bush. UN cannot partner with you that are making noise and calling them where you are standing on illegality. What happens? The UN wants only that peaceful declaration of civilian state that the EU can participate on it.
The UN's membership filter, Article 4. The UN Charter, Article 4, says membership is open to peace-loving states. In the 20th century, this was ignored. If you won the war, you got in.
Are you hearing it? That in the 20th century, they ignored this law. Then what law do they ignore? The UN's Article 4 of the membership of peace-loving state. They ignore it. They use what? Military. But in this 21st century, they have come back and remember that this law that we are ignored though is why there is many war in this world in this 21st century. That is why they have to come back and brace it. They brace it. they tied it up for us to understand that this particular way of using armed struggle in the past is no longer in existence. They said here, in the 20th century, this was ignored. If you won the war, you got a new nation and recognition. In the 21st century, the UN used this to block military groups. If any group actively using force, they are labeled armed spoilers. If any group use force, like what you see Butos and Gentle, with these your actions, the Donald Trump you are calling the law that guys Donald Trump, the law that guy Netanyahu, we call you what? Armed spoilers of a new country movement. Is it what you want? Let me ask you.
21st century. The UN uses this to block military groups. If a group is actively using force, they are labeled armed spoilers. The Palestine/Kosovo effect.
Yes,
the UN is now willing
it
to...
happens in the Palestine and the Kosovo. And look at what happened to them. Listen to this one.
Grant observer status or support to movements that are completely peaceful, even if they don't have a full army yet. Peace is now a shortcut to membership. Why the military comrade model failed. The 20th century rebel model fails in 2026 for 3 practical reasons. Feature: 20th century, guns. 21st century, signatures. Money. You looted gold/cash. You need access to SWIFT and digital banking. Technology. You used radios and AK-47s. You need internet, satellites, and GPS. Trade. You traded with neighbors. You need sanction-free access to global markets. The reality. If your comrades use force, the world unplugs your country from the global grid. You might own the land, but you will be living in the dark ages. 4. The responsibility to protect. R2P. This is a 21st century legal doctrine that changed everything. It says that if a group takes power by force and kills its own people, the UN has the legal right to intervene and remove them. Military force triggers R2P, invites international bombing or intervention. Peaceful declaration triggers diplomatic protection, invites international support. Summary: the new power hierarchy. In the 20th century, the general was the most important person. In the 21st century, the diplomat with the peaceful declaration is the one who actually creates the nation. The UN, EU, and AU changed the law because they want predictability. Military comrades are unpredictable. Peaceful governments follow treaties. In a world of global business, the world will always choose the peaceful signature over the military gun. Would you like me to draft?
I hope you had it clearly. This is where the world are right now. Please, I urge you, anytime you want to watch this program or anytime it comes to you, please, I urge you to like and share. You know that when you find the truth, people are very little tiny there. That is why I ask you that you are sharing, you are liking, we increase those that we watch, for us to educate and equip ourselves, and also for us to know that there is a new law. There is easy way for us to achieve Biafra as a country instead of Tibuo, Bute, or Governor Apiomo. The world says no to that. And our peaceful declaration is an evidence that we have said no to that. That is our blue flag, that we, the people of Biafra, we don't support armed struggle anymore. Rather, we support a peaceful declaration that leads to diplomatic and recognition for a new country. My people, because of my time, we are going to end it up here. Until tomorrow, we'll come back again. Our program these days focus, what we preach these days is only declaration, military. This is what we are preaching these days, because I want to know it all by myself. So I will say that my government of the USB is stand on the right track and they are doing the right thing. That is why I must continue in that aspect. So I thank you for coming here. I greet everyone in the comment section. Thank you so much. I also thank you, Divine Precious, for your call. Coaches 042, thanks so much for coming. Biafra, please, Biafra, I thank you all. Everybody, Mommy Ngozi, I thank those in the comment section, all of you. Please, the only thing I want to do for me, like the program, share it on your S handle, on your YouTube, on your Facebook, on your WhatsApp group, or anywhere you can, on the TikTok. Please share, that people may know the truth, and we will help ourselves. So all this military we understand, because from one hand to another hand sharing, the message might go viral so they can see and they can follow by themselves. Please, I urge you to hit the like button like our sister said. So please, my people, thank you so much. We are drawing the curtain here. The same time, tomorrow, we might come 2 times because we have many things to do. The only thing you hear here is only this program, please. I don't preach Adadi Orama here. I don't preach Eggmaster. I don't preach fallback bridge. I only preach fallback bridge when I'm reading such a document to prove that they have betrayed the government. That is the only thing I do to educate myself. That is it. So please bear with me if the message doesn't like it. Maybe you can go to those that preach what you like. Odogwu Enugu.
Good day from my location.
Yeah, good evening from my location. You're welcome to the platform.
Has the program ended?
No. I'm about to round up before you call in. And let me pick the call.
Okay, please, I want to ask question if you still have chance or time.
Go on. You are from where you are watching me. I can hear your voice is repeating.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. Let me off the one that I'm not. How do I make this kind of mistake?
It's okay.
How do I make this kind of mistake?
It's okay. Go on.
So I don't know because I was preparing for work when I'm listening to you. First of all, I want to thank you and greet all Biafrans that are subscribed and have liked and shared. I don't know if you have highlighted on my question because I was off from the gadget. We have seen your lectures today, and it is very, very authentic and educative. But my question is, what are we or our responsibilities as Biafrans to do for quicker recognition, apart from what the government led by the Congress Rebeze and her cabinet are doing for the quicker recognition? What are we going to contribute individually or collectively?
Number one is this: we must obey every instruction and command coming from the government office. Number two, we must take our ID card from the government, because our ID card is a massive way that leads to physical recognition that there is a population and a defined territory. This is number two. The most effective among all is that we should take our ID card from the USB government. This, and also we should defend our government, debunk some lies, and educate ourselves on what we have to do, and including supporting the USB fundraising for them to continue to do more to us. We must be an obedient citizen, because they said obedient is better than sacrifice. On these 6 criteria, that is what the government expects from us to do, so we can be able to help them to achieve our international recognition very fast. Not supporting, not showing the military on social media, because the world will tag us with those military insurgency country, and they will deny us access as a full country. That is what we need to do on our own. That is it.
Thank you very much. The second question, you talked about it. How is it possible that we, as you said, that we must, or that there must be saboteurs, there must be unbelievers, or backbiters, or backstabbers, or all these groups? Why must it be in our Biafra declaration. You talked about it. Can you tell us more?
Yes, it's very simple. That's why I give an example. I captured 8 countries in Africa: Ethiopia, Algeria, Angola, Guinea-Bissau, Mozambique, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Eritrea, South Africa. These are countries. They all have betrayers when they are fighting. They have people that said, we don't want all this thing you are doing, you know. And even those that they are together, but because of they see the opportunity as avenue they will use and make their own money, they come to claim that they are fighting. So we can have a Biafra without betrayer, without saboteurs. Also, the saboteurs is what encouraging us to do more, to know that if we don't do more, they will make Biafra to become a failed state, like what happened in 1967 to 1970, where Nnamdi Azikiwe and Ifeajuna capitalized to betray Chukwuemeka Odumegwu-Ojukwu. So the tension is that the history of a new country, rebel, betrayers, insurgency, they all must be there. So we cannot avoid it. Ndị be anyị wee kwuo n'okwu Igbo si na adị n'Igbo agụ osu, na adị n'Igbo agụ osu, na ọ na-eme ahọrọ ụmụ egbuo ha isi. That is why for me, I never preach that we will be together. We will have enemies because other countries like all these 8 or 9 countries I mentioned here has it in their own time. So it has been there from time immemorial. We cannot dodge to have saboteur among us. But the issue is, you that stand, that you feel that you know that you're not a betrayer, you must continue supporting the USB government. The only way that the world are looking for is what you have, a peaceful declaration, a signation that is more important than gun and bullet. Thank you. That is all I have to say about that.
Thank you very much. The answer was very, very specific and simple. Now I want to talk to Biafrans. Biafrans, the ball is now in our court. So it depends on how we shoot it. We score the goal. In fact, we are inside the, is it 18-yard ball or 16-yard balls to the post?
18-yard balls.
Just a little thing for us to shoot inside the net. And the advantage we have now is that there is no goalkeeper inside that post. Exactly. It is empty. So we need just to shoot. Nobody is going to prevent it. How are we going to shoot it? By what our professor, our brother told us now. When we just need to support. Forget about the attacks. You have the attacks in the football pitch.
Yes.
Before you reach to the penalty. You have defenders. You have
strikers.
Central defense.
You have midfielders.
We have everything.
Yes.
We have even spectators who are bowing at us from outside the pitch. But we finally make it up to the 18-yard box. Now we have made it by declaration of our Biafra. There is no more goalkeeper inside that post. So we just need to shoot the ball. What are we waiting for, Biafrans? What is me or Odugwenugu waiting for? What is you? Whatever your name is, what for us not to score our goal. Exactly. And it should be a shameful thing that we arrive at this shooting, then you are there looking back, or you take the ball from the 18-yard ball, you take it down back again to start from the center or from the half field. Who does that? Biafrans, who does that? Don't go back. If you go back, they cannot defend, attack, or enemies that will come against you, both inside and outside. It will be a shame. Therefore, I want to congratulate all of us And I want to say, score the goal. I'm not begging you. Just score the goal if you want. If you don't want, read it. I, myself, I will score my own goal. If you don't want to score your own, no, that one is your cup of tea. But I want to tell you, if I score my goal, I get 3 points. I get my point. And there are other fanatical Biafrans that are ready to score the goal. I am sure Dr. Ngozi Obeze is with me to score the goal. I am sure that Ray Biafra TV is there to score. I am sure that Rai Kai Television, Kelena, Biafra Exodus, all the fanatical and truthful Biafrans, they are there to score the goal. If you don't want to score your own, that is a 0. But I am telling you that instead of facing the shame, score the goal. Even if you miss the net, just play the ball, let it go. Anywhere you play it, the whole world will see that you have played the ball, and it leads to your recognition. When they recognize that you shoot the ball, that is your recognition of your freedom. Thank you so much, Radio Biafra TV. Continue. We Biafrans, we are praying for you, and we are grateful for you coming in this time, bringing the new dimension, the difference between 20th century and 21st century. Already had to go.
Yes.
And already detail now bending corner and roundabout. Biafrans, on the if you don't know that. God bless all of you, Radio Biafra TV.
Thank you so much.
On.
Thank you so much. What we are on it right now, if you miss the ball, don't miss the person. Yes, sir. Go choose 042. Good evening from my location. You're welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good evening, Mazi.
Good afternoon from my side.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Wow, good afternoon. Good afternoon all over the world. Mazi, just one question that makes it very short.
Okay.
And this question has been disturbing me with all this while.
Okay.
Just the question that our brother Odogwini asked. Let's say ask about 2 or 3 questions. And that question even trigger me out of even calling you now to ask this question. And the question is this. As we speak now, in Nigeria, as Nigeria stands now, if you look around, if everyone of us look around, is only Biafrans is ready to move out of Nigeria. Just like the one that called himself Sunday Igboho, that is advocating for Yoruba living in Nigeria before. Every one of us have seen that guy in question has been compromised. As we speak now, he is now eating with the same people that he wanted to leave from their place just because of the Yoruba man is the president of Nigeria today. That's the reason why they managed to. Well, so that is the reason why he managed to betray or something like that. It's only our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa here. They are the only ones standing for the freedom of Biafra. And my question goes like this. If the Westerners, just like United States of America and Israel, that every one of them is talking about Biafra today, they are not talking, you can say, they are not talking about how to make this Nigeria to be good or something like that. But from my own side, if they wanted to divide Nigeria today, are they going to recognize Biafra and leave others, both Hausas and Yorubas, to bear that name, Nigeria? Or they're going to divide the whole country, the whole Nigeria, so that everybody is going to accept things? That is just my question.
Yes, Mazi, coaches 042. When it's come to the when you are in a house and they bring food for 3 people, and 2 people said, I don't want to eat, I'm okay. You that want to eat the food, because of these 2 refuse to eat the food, are you going to say, no, I'm not going to eat the food? That's already brought out to you on the table. Are you going to eat the food? The answer is yes. I am going to eat the food because I'm hungry. For those who want a new nation, for those who don't want Nigeria, we are that people that said, we are tired. We are the one that are hungry to eat. So if the word are coming, now that Israel is talking about Biafra, they are not talking including Oduduwa or Arewa youth or any other tribe in Nigeria. Now, as of today, that a man from the UK is talking about Biafra again. He is talking only about Biafra. When we fought war in Nigeria, it's only the Biafran people fought the war of 1960 to 1970. Yorubas and Hausas and the Fulanis joined hands to fight also. Now that they're talking about Biafra, it's only we that they will grant. We already have our territory. And also, now that the government have made it clear that we have 40 states, that is where we have killed everything, that they will recognize only us, unless another people want to go. They are not going to force anybody to go. For me, as always I said, I want to go. You who want to remain in one Nigeria, take your one Nigeria, allow me. So the answer is that the world is going to recognize Biafra as a country that's already fought war against Yorubas, Fulanis, and Hausas. It's only we that the world are going to recognize. Those who want to go. That's why I use the example of someone who is hungry. Out of 3, 1 person is hungry and they bring food. 2 said, I don't want to eat. You that want it, you go and eat and get satisfied and you go and rest. So that is how it is. The world are talking, coming. If happens today, the only people that make a peaceful declaration is people of the rest of Biafra. Despite that, Nigeria to divide is in our hand, which is pure truth. So it's only Biafra they are talking about, and only Biafra they are after. That is the truth. Because of what? Our peaceful royal declaration. That is how it goes. I don't know whether you get me clear.
I have now understand it now, because the Yorubas, they are not ready to leave Nigeria. For what I'm seeing from my own side,
Yes.
Because any move, if anything happens in Yoruba land today, they're not going to focus on those Yorubas. It's the answer they're going to focus, which is the Igbos. Just like the one that Shafari Zukubo is in the other day. All his focus is where Biafran, is where Igbos live. And every one of them is now busy talking about Igbo, because they have seen the green light. That's the reason why every one of them is now talking about Igbo. Thank you for your question, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have now understand what has been disturbing me since all this while. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Let me just stop here for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, my people, on here, we are going to draw the curtain for today's program. Then, until tomorrow, I am very tired. I know I have murdered my sleep, but even if I have murdered the sleep because of this movement, please I need to take 2 hours or 1 hour. But I have only 1 hour left to go to my work, which I will come back tomorrow morning. So please continue. Stand on the truth. Please support this movement. Take your USB ID card. That ID card is evidence at hand that there is a permanent population of people that want Biafra as a country. Please endeavor to do that. Thank you so much. One love. From me, from here, it is a wonderful day. Have a nice day until you come back again tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have our long hour program. Because tomorrow we'll have a time. We'll come earlier, more than this. Thank you so much, dear friends. Mommy Margaret, you are right. I need to take a little bit rest, even if it is 1 hour I left from my room here. Thank you so much. Dear friends, we move. We are on the right track. Peaceful declaration, the only way to have a new nation that leads to recognition on the diplomatic level. No surrender, no retreat. We are there. Thank you. Have a nice day from me.